A young man falls for a vampire after secretly watching her change at home. The story takes off from there. But first, please subscribe. The movie starts with a man in bed with his girlfriend, Diana, but he wakes up alone. It was just a dream. This man is Cameron, who is on summer break. His dad asks him about plans to study, but his mom, Carol, says the break just began and tells the dad to relax. His dad then reminds them that Cameron had time off already and now wants to know what his son's plans are for the future. He then gives him 3 weeks to decide what to do. Cameron works at an ice cream shop, and the manager, Lenny, yells at him for being late. Lenny says he has to work late, but Cameron refuses because it's his girlfriend's birthday and he wants to take her to dinner. Lenny laughs, not believing him. Around the same time, a mysterious woman moves in next door. It's clear right away she's not ordinary. She seems smart and keeps to herself. At work, Alice asks Cameron if he really loves Diana and is actually taking her out. Cameron says they've been in love since they were children, went to school together, and plan to live together. After work, Cameron goes to Diana's and sees her relaxing in the garden, sunbathing by the fountain. Then, Charles and Jason show up, accusing Cameron of taking pictures of Diana without her knowing. Charles grabs Cameron's phone and throws it away. Diana sees Cameron on the ground and helps him up, asking what happened. Charles says he was taking pictures of her and wouldn't stop when he told him to. Cameron tries to get his phone to show he wasn't, but Diana gets mad and tells Charles to leave. Cameron goes home. That night he looks out the window and sees his new neighbor, Victoria, undressing. She seems to notice him. Embarrassed, Cameron leaves and sits down with his family for dinner. His father says he won't buy him a new phone and states if he wants one, he'll have to buy it himself. Someone knocks on the door, startling them. Cameron looks through the peephole and sees Victoria. He panics, thinking she's going to complain to his parents, but when he opens the door, it's Diana. Cameron is shocked. He tells Diana he just saw Victoria outside. Diana takes him to a pizza place to make him feel better and apologizes for what happened to his phone. Soon after, Cameron invites his friend Martin to join them, even though Diana didn't want him to. Martin's strange behavior and stuttering bother Diana, which confuses Cameron since he doesn't know what Martin did wrong. When Diana drops Cameron off, she tells him that Martin bothered her in the past, which is why she does not like him. Cameron does not find this weird. Diana then says she remembers the night Cameron came over and drank her dad's liquor. She wanted to tell him something she had never told anyone, but he fell asleep. Suddenly, Cameron sees Victoria staring at him. Scared, he runs inside, nervously peeking out the curtain to see her again. He's shocked she's still watching him. Then he turns around and sees Victoria right behind him. He apologizes for seeing her without clothes, saying he was actually looking at someone else, and she just happened to be in the way. Victoria says she's had her eye on him since she moved in. Cameron opens the door, but Victoria says he's going to take her for a drive as being his punishment. Cameron tells her he can't because his car registration is not in force. Victoria thinks he's trying to get out of it and threatens to talk to his parents. Cameron takes Victoria near a building. She grabs his keys so he can't leave. He stays in the car and watches a man opens the building door for Victoria. She goes inside and the man follows. After a while, when she doesn't come back, Cameron follows her. Just as he gets to the door, the same man stumbles out, limping and begging for help. Terrified, Cameron shuts the car door. The man smears the car window as he keeps begging for help. Victoria bites the man's neck. On the way back, Cameron starts to think Victoria is a vampire, but Victoria says she will be sad if he won't drive her ever again. Outside Cameron's house, Victoria kisses him and says he needs to trust her. The next morning, Cameron's dad, Hunter, asks about the blood on the car. Victoria says a wounded deer ran into the car the night before. She tells Hunter that she knows Cameron's car registration is not in force, so she offers to pay for it as long as Cameron agrees to be her driver while she's in town. Cameron makes a bunch of excuses, but Hunter doesn't see a problem with it. Later, Martin tells Cameron that he dumped Diana at prom because he didn't know how to act around her. Now he wants Cameron's help convincing Diana to give him another chance. That night, Cameron is sitting in a car outside a building, waiting for Victoria, who went inside. Suddenly, a body falls from above and lands on the car, scaring Cameron. Victoria comes back and Cameron drives her home. On the way, he stops at a gas station to clean the car windows. A few hours later, Victoria is in Cameron's room and says it's time he knew why she's in town. She's 247 years old. In 1890, a rival vampire group killed her lover because he wouldn't join them. Most of them moved to America over the last century, and some are now in town. Victoria is out to get them all. When Cameron hears the people she has been hurting were at humans, he feels relieved. The next day, Martin asks Cameron to join him and Diana on a date because he's too nervous to go by himself. While on the date, Cameron is having fun with Diana on the street when Victoria sees them together and feels jealousy. That night, Cameron asks Victoria how many vampires she has left to kill. Victoria says one will die tonight, and there's one more she has not found as of yet, the vampire who killed her lover and is the leader of their group. She swears his death will be very painful. Victoria insists Cameron stays in the car to be safe, but Cameron has grown attached with Victoria. Cameron wants to go with her into the building. Once in the basement, Victoria goes face to face to her enemy. Cameron shows up and the enemy vampire shoots him. Cameron falls. Mad, Victoria kills her enemy and runs to Cameron, worried. But Cameron sits up. He's fine and was just pretending to be hurt. Victoria tells him not to risk his life for her. As Victoria gets ready to go home, Cameron asks her to go with him to Martin's date tomorrow so he can use her as an excuse to leave early and spend more time with her. The next day, Martin is on his date with Diana, and Cameron is there too. He tries to leave early, but both friends try to stop him because they think the date will go better if he stays. When Diana goes to freshen up, Victoria appears and takes Cameron with her. As they walk away, Victoria asks who Diana is. Cameron lies, saying Diana is Martin's girlfriend, but Victoria thinks Diana actually likes Cameron. Cameron says that's not true. That night, Cameron points out Charles and Jason outside an ice cream shop, saying they've bullied him for years. Victoria acts like Cameron's girlfriend and walks over to them for fun. The two get mad and come at Cameron. When Cameron starts getting beat up, Victoria tells him something. Suddenly, Cameron feels strong and pushes Charles to the ground. Charles apologizes to Cameron in front of Victoria. Later, while in the car, Cameron mentions his hand hurts. Victoria takes out a liquid from her necklace and tells him to drink it. After he does, she tells him that liquid came from her. Cameron has a mad attack and asks if that means he'll turn into a vampire. Victoria says it was only to heal him. That night, while Cameron is thinking about Diana, Victoria shows up and tells him the only way to forget Diana is to be with her. Cameron is tempted and they start kissing. Then Cameron's dad, Hunter, walks in and sees them. He turns and leaves without saying a word. Cameron is following Victoria, but he stops her, saying he can't betray Diana. Victoria tries to talk him into it, but Cameron refuses to be with her that night. The next morning at breakfast, Hunter hints about Victoria and Cameron smiles back. Later, Martin shows up and complains about how bad his date was. He does a beg to Cameron for help one more time, but Cameron refuses to. Around that time, Alice comes to see Cameron. She wants to get closer to him, but Cameron tells her everything that's been happening. Alice wants to see him again. That night, Cameron is getting ready to go see Alice when his dad walks in and hands him some protectors. As Cameron steps outside, he sees a car outside Victoria's house. When he looks through her window, he sees Victoria and Diana. When Diana goes upstairs, Cameron hides in his room. Meanwhile, Alice is waiting for him. Back at Victoria's house, Cameron sees Victoria and Diana. Then the lights go out. From their shadows, Cameron figures out they are together. The next morning, Cameron sees Diana leaving Victoria's house, making sure she spent the night there. As soon as Diana leaves, Victoria appears in front of Cameron and asks if he enjoyed last night's party. Angry, Cameron says she crossed the line by getting with Diana, but Victoria thinks she and Diana were never going to work. Cameron says he won't work for her anymore. Victoria gets angry and says there's still one night left. Later, Cameron tells Martin to go on another date with Diana and tell her how he feels. Then, Cameron goes to the ice cream shop and tells Lenny he's quitting. Outside, Alice is waiting for him, angry. As soon as Cameron arrives, she yells at him because he promised to meet her but didn't show up. Feeling sad, Cameron goes to see Diana. Diana says Martin has already asked her on a date. Cameron returns home, heartbroken. At home, his mom gives him a new phone if he keeps it a secret from his dad for a few weeks. Later, Cameron meets Martin and tells him to wear an earphone and so Cameron can tell him what to say on the date. When Martin asks what to say if Diana gets suspicious, Cameron says that he will tell her he's waiting for a call from the baseball team. During the date, Cameron tells Martin what to say and Martin repeats everything. Diana starts liking Martin and lets Martin take her wherever he wants. Cameron tells his friend to take Diana home, but Martin makes plans to go to Lover's Lane. Furious, Cameron follows them, hopping to stop the date. Hiding behind a tree, he sees Diana say something into her earphone and then throws it out the window. Diana had figured out Cameron was listening in on her. Before Martin can confess his feelings, Diana bites his neck. Cameron feels that Diana is a vampire. Scared, he runs to the ice cream shop. Diana arrives. Cameron tells her to stay away and says that she killed his friend. Diana says Martin is still living. She opens a compartment and shows him a man wrapped in a blanket. She says she didn't kill Martin, she made him stronger so he could play pro baseball. In a pained voice, Cameron asks why Diana kept her secret from him for years. Diana says she was going to tell him that night when they were drunk, but he fell asleep. When Cameron asks why she didn't tell him after 2 years, Diana says she thought he'd be afraid to tell her. Then she admits that she likes him. She says that she had decided to let a mortal get close to her again, but Cameron had always been in her heart. As they kiss, Lenny watches. That night, Victoria tells Cameron that she had always known Diana was a vampire, but she never told him because she thought he wouldn't believe her. Then she says that the vampire she's been hunting is Diana. Finally, Victoria tells Cameron that she has to use him to beat Diana. Knowing Cameron is in danger, Diana shows up. Then, Lenny steps out from behind a tree and says that he knows everything and he's going to tell everyone, but Diana knocks him out and drinks his. Moments later, Diana and Martin come into the house and go face to face with Victoria, who's holding Cameron. A fight starts between them. When Victoria is in the act of trying to kill Diana, Diana breaks the tray over her head. They went to the ground. Diana and Victoria both told their sides of the story of what really happened. Then Victoria breaks down and apologized. She will now rebuild a life. As everyone is going, Cameron asks why is everyone leaving. Diana explained a new Cameron will live for new days. The next day, Cameron tells his parents that he's going to be a writer and will write about vampires. Outside the ice cream shop, he apologizes to Alice and tells her everything that happened, but she doesn't believe most of it. She does take his apology, and that's how the movie ends. The next day, Cairo was in the office because the rumor was so bad that she had to be called down. During the meeting, the vice principal began questioning them. Cairo told everything without hesitation, including the first meeting, sharing a cigarette, meeting outside school, and Jonathan even inviting her out. Jonathan hesitated during his turn to answer. Jonathan's Hessian spoke volumes to what Cairo said, and because of this, he was let go from his position immediately. Even his best friend Boris mentioned he crossed the lines. Meanwhile, Beatrix found out, so she chose to accept the truth. He fired, rumors, and that he was having an affair with her. With all her built-up resentment boiling over, the two confronted each other, but it ended in a worse state. Beatrix told Janatha that she wanted a divorce. But for Cairo, she didn't care that Jonathan lost everything. She had a cold, detached smile with being with that thought in mind. She mentioned that it was all her plans and schemes that came to light. She only found that his ego and thinking that she was weak was his worst demise. With a wicked grin on her face, she thought now Jonathan has no job and no wife. Cairo had plans to now write again, with Jonathan having nothing left. In short, this was a story of a man's demise from their deepest desires that would come to their ends, and the people who are heavily underestimated to an extreme end.